Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for trying to get my girl into the gym? My girl has been really depressed lately. Just want to say that she does not do any exercise besides jogging in the morning for 30 minutes, and in my opinion, that's not enough. I love how he's like, she doesn't exercise, but she jogs every single day. It's like, already, you're completely discredited. She's not fat, but she's kind of mushy and skinny, so I've been trying to get her into the gym. She's not interested. But lately, her mental health has gotten so bad that she needs therapy and some medications. The entire time I was there for my girl, and I just wanted her to be better. Lately, her medications have been making her gain some pounds. She's still hot to me, but I also want her to do something about her problems. I like how he's like, she's not doing anything about her problems, but she's going into therapy,
hmm
she's exercising every day, and she's taking medications, but
hmm
she's not doing anything for herself. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So I went and bought her some gym clothes and I told her that she needs to hit the gym. It does wonders not only for your mental health, but usually better than pharmaceuticals. She got mad at me and told me that she will continue to jog, but that's just not enough. Jogging doesn't mean lifting weights. Jogging doesn't mean improving stability and posture, etc. She needs more than jogging. She keeps saying no. Am I going too far with this? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk in so many ways.
Yeah.
First of all, you're the jerk for prioritizing your girlfriend's physical appearance over her health because
Yeah.
that seems to be your real concern here, is that she's putting on weight.
Yeah, and I just want to point out here, and I counted out the number of sentences here. There are 12 sentences, and in 3 of those sentences, he mentions her physical form in some way or another. And that's like 25% of this entire block is taken up by her physical appearance
Yeah, like
stuff.
he's trying to convince us that that's not it, but it's very clear.
Yeah.
Secondly, you're a jerk for acting like you're the expert on mental health. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another. So exercise can do great things for people's mental health.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it is not the end all be all. Therapy is also really good. Medications can be good. It all depends on the person. And to be like, she's not doing the one thing I want her to do. This would cure everything if she just hit the gym. That's not how mental health works.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what Amber's saying. This is a big issue that he's trying to say that her only viable mental health strategy is to lift weights. And the thing is that that isn't going to necessarily cure her or make her completely better. And the fact that he's saying that it's better than pharmaceuticals isn't even really accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that needs to have a very fine point put on it, is that some people, they just need the pharmaceuticals for one reason or another. Like, they can be treated with these products, and there's still big open questions about why they work, but exercise isn't always a panacea here.
Right. I mean, if it was, like, that would be great, and that's what everyone would prescribe, just exercise. But again, every body is different.
Mm-hmm.
Every person's needs are different, and so and then to go out and buy her gym clothes when she's told you, you're also
Yeah.
violating her like boundaries here. She told you, I don't want to hit the gym,
Yeah.
and
Well, she already's jogging, right?
yeah.
So she must already have exercise and workout clothes that she could use at a gym if she wanted to.
Yeah, but
So,
and so it just feels very controlling to me too. So you
yeah.
get the controlling partner vibes on top of that.
Yeah. But anyhow, take care, and I hope she jogs away.
Yeah.
All right, folks, and we do have this first comment I want to read because I'm pretty sure this is actually OP on a different account. Ugh, jogging can be so bad for your legs, back, and body. I learned this too late, and I regret it now. There are much less body abusive forms of cardio, not the jerk, just because getting into a workout routine may help her. She'll sleep better, eat better, and feel better. If she isn't willing to try it, and would rather just take prescribed drugs, then that's a rabbit hole that she'll have to tackle. Try and be supportive of whatever she decides. And then OP replies, "Thank you for your understanding." And it's like, OP, you're not fooling anyone. I am convinced that that is actually OP writing that.
Either OP or someone very much like him. When someone is in a depressive episode, like if they are doing anything, like if
Oh
they are
yeah.
any form of exercise, that's a great thing. You don't want to pile more when someone's already struggling to do things.
Yeah, and she's doing what she can right now, and I think that's really important to say.
Like if you're worried that your partner isn't getting adequate exercise for their health, not for their weight, when they are in a perfectly mentally healthy place, it might be okay to bring it up. But if you're dealing with someone who is experiencing mental health issues, the last thing you want to do is tell them you're not doing enough.
All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Calling My Husband Insane for Missing My Dad's Funeral Just Because He Didn't Want Me to Wear High Heels? My dad passed away 2 weeks ago. Before the funeral, my husband, who has always had issues with height, he's short, asked if I was going to wear high heels. I said yes, because those high heels are the only pair of shoes that I have with a black color to fit my outfit. He tried to get me to wear other shoes, but I refused, and I gave him the explanation above. He ranted about how he was worried about how other people were seeing him with me and me looking taller. Basically, the same old rant. I used to just deal with it before, but this time I said no. He said that he wouldn't attend the funeral then. I was shocked, and I called him insane to miss the funeral over such a reason, but he seemed upset and said that I was insane for refusing to compromise and make it work. We had a huge fight and ended up not going. We're not talking to each other as of now, and his family thinks that I was stubborn and I should have just compromised if I really wanted him there. All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. And do you really want to be married to this man? Like, what he did is beyond petty. Like, he's making your father's funeral about how
His
he
height,
looks.
right?
Like, who is so insecure that they can't just set aside and go to a funeral?
Yeah, and as if you were going to the funeral specifically to dunk on his height or something like that,
Right.
right? And
Like,
like no one at a funeral is going to be worried about someone's height. They're all
mm-hmm.
going to be mourning the loss of a loved one, and the fact that he thinks that the world and universe revolves around him in this way is just pretty disturbing.
And that he's controlling about what you wear in general. Like, he's gonna not go places with you if you wear high heels.
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool.
No, it really isn't. And I mean, certainly I think being sensitive towards an insecurity is a really good thing. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be sensitive
Mm-hmm.
towards your partner's insecurities because you really should be. But the fact that you had a pair of high heels, you weren't going to go out and buy a special pair of shoes specifically for your father's funeral rather. So I think that that wasn't a reasonable ask in that respect.
Right.
And maybe you two could have compromised on the shoe height or whatever shoe, but again, like you had your reasons. You didn't want to wear festive rainbow colored shoes at your father's funeral.
Right. Well, and I think this shows a real lack of compassion and sympathy that he's willing to put his insecurities above your needs in a
Yeah.
really bad time for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think it's a really sad situation. So I'm sorry for your loss, OP. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Big Oof says, Not the jerk. I don't think anyone really cares if a woman is taller or wearing high heels than her man. Sorry about your loss and how it was overshadowed by this nonsense. And OP replies, Yes, I don't get his reasoning, but it's not new, I tell you. I have to deal with this constantly. And that's just telling. It's just telling. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some coffee right here, and Amber has a very spiteful joke.
Did you hear the joke about the 500-foot monster?
I did hear the joke about the 500-foot monster. It wasn't funny at all because there was a 500-foot monster that went and raided a town, and destroyed buildings, did some terrible, terrible things. It was just a very large version of Bernard the Unhinged.
Never mind. It's over your head.
Oh no, that was a jovial Bob Stein joke, and I handed Amber the old joke book, and she's like, "Can we have a joke book where we haven't read all the jokes, Brian?" I'm just kidding. She didn't say it like that. And so then she decided that she was going to go with a spite joke.
Yep.
And I, like I said, have coffee. But I did have a special guest tea last night. I
Mm-hmm.
was going to record last night, but it just didn't work out. And it was mint licorice mint. And it was an odd combination of flavors, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Like the mint or licorice would have been fine on their own, so I just don't understand what they were going for with the mint licorice. It was okay. I mean, it was squarely okay. Again, it's not a tea I would have reached for, but it was okay. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this very special Sunday morning Reddit special. What made it special? You did. So, Amber, what's the moral of today's story?
Well, I guess one moral is don't I guess the moral is just don't be mean to your partner.
Be good to your partner
Support your partner when they're in their times of need.
and don't make your needs above
Yeah,
theirs,
like that's the
right?
common theme is
It's a pretty common theme today. I
yeah.
think I think they're both tied in together well.
Mm-hmm. Your petty insecurities. Like it's fine to want to take care of yourself, of course,
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah,
And there
yeah.
are times when people's needs conflict. But if you're worried about looking too short or you're worried about your partner's weight when
Mushiness.
yeah.
Then yeah, maybe not. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.